Hello, this is Kelly Allen. In this video, I'm going to discuss J1 waivers. So for most people, this is not going to apply, but if you have ever entered the U.S. on a J1 visa, then this is something that you need to be very aware of. For most J1 visas, there is a 2-year foreign residency requirement. That means that when you finish your J1 assignment or studies, that you cannot then just apply for permanent residency and remain in the United States, because you have the requirement that you have to return to your home country for 2 years prior to being eligible to apply for permanent residency in the U.S. Now, not all J1 visas come with that 2-year foreign residency requirement, but the default position is that you are subject to the requirement. To find out, normally you want to look on the visa itself, and there should be language printed on it that either says is or is not subject to the 2-year foreign residency requirement, or on your actual J1 paperwork, there should be a box checked saying either yes or no. So if you are not subject to the residency requirement, that's great. You can stop listening now because it doesn't apply to you. But if you are subject to the 2-year foreign residency requirement, then you're wanting to become a permanent resident in the U.S. Perhaps maybe you've married a U.S. citizen and now want to be able to stay. So your options are either to return to your home country for 2 years and then apply for a spousal visa to come back as a permanent resident, or to try to get that 2-year foreign residency requirement waived. And there are several different grounds for getting that requirement waived, but the most common is the no objection statement. This is where we send to the Department of State a request for the waiver, and the Department of State then will contact your government's representative and see if your country's government has any objection if the U.S. waives that 2-year requirement. If your government says no, there's no objection, and if our State Department has no objection, then there's a recommendation sent to USCIS. USCIS then has to make the final determination, but usually if there's a favorable recommendation, USCIS will go along with it and then send a notice saying that you are no longer subject to that residency requirement. That paves the way for you to go ahead and pursue your adjustment of status or whatever other immigration option you were looking for. That's the most common way. You can also potentially get the waiver based on extreme hardship, or that possibly you would be subject to persecution if in your home country if you were required to go back for that 2-year period. But generally we're looking at the no objection statement.